So gaming laptops, everyone's heard of them, everyone's seen them, and they're getting really powerful nowadays. 40 series graphics cards, 13th gen Intel, you can get some pretty powerful laptops now. But with all that extra power comes quite a high price tag. But what if you want to do portable gaming, like you fly a lot, and you want to do some portable gaming on a gaming laptop, because a Steam Deck isn't quite enough, but you don't want to spend that much. A budget gaming laptop's a good idea, or should you just save up some more? This is a Dell gaming laptop. It's the G515, and it is the 5520. It's a pretty good laptop too, and I got it for 1,200 AUD. I'll convert that to a few other currencies, which when the other options are upwards of 3,000 to 4,000 AUD, was very cheap. Gaming laptops today don't come much cheaper. Not with a dedicated graphics card at least, which I feel like it kind of needs to be a gaming laptop. Also, sorry if my voice sounds off, I've got a bit of a cold, but the tech grind stops for no one. This is the laptop, came with the background pre-installed. Now the laptop's actually pretty good. The laptop build is pretty good. While it's not full metal or anything, it's pretty good plastic, and there's a fair bit of metal in there. Part of Dell's G line. Has plenty of things like ventilation. And so, is it a good deal? Can you game on this? And are budget gaming laptops still good at gaming and worth it? Now, full transparency, I got this one on sale for the price, but gaming laptops that are slightly older go on sale all the time. Now let's run through specs. For its CPU, it's got a 12th Gen i5, 12 cores, 16 processors. So it's got 8 efficiency cores and 4 performance cores. Pretty good mobile CPU. And for graphics, this laptop has an NVIDIA GeForce Laptop RTX 3050, which has a dedicated 4GB of memory, and is not at all a bad option for a laptop GPU. But it is a 30 series and a 3050 at that, so nothing fancy. But you'll notice it says 0% usage, even though clearly the laptop is running. That's because it's also got Intel integrated graphics, and this laptop will smart switch between it and render different things with different graphics cards. Things like web browsing or just the screen is rendered with integrated, and things like gaming is with the RTX, which does mean it has features like ray tracing or not. The next two bits are not so impressive. For all that, it's only got 8 gigs of RAM, admittedly DDR5 by the speed, but it's only 8 gigs, which for a system like this is going to probably be one of the biggest bottlenecks. While this one I've already switched. It originally had this SSD inside of it, which is an SK Hynix 256 gig one. It's only Gen 3 NVMe. All of the testing was done with this, which is why I've switched it. I have since switched it into an NVMe Sabrent Rocket 4th Gen 1TB, which I did make a short about. And I've already ordered a new kit of RAM, as I'm planning to go up to 32 gigs, but it kind of got stopped at customs. Now for the price, it's pretty good. So this is a website called PC Part Picker. Now, not a laptop, but I've put in some parts which add up to just below the same total. And I will say a desktop computer is more comparable than I thought it would be. This one will still be faster and cooler than the other one, but while it's got 16 gigs of RAM, it's only DDR4. Got a 512 Gen 4 SSD, a base RTX 3050, which sounds like it's the same, but this one isn't the mobile version. Overall, if you're getting a gaming computer for pure performance, a desktop will beat out this laptop, but of course it doesn't have things like portability. It also doesn't come with a monitor, keyboard, and mouse all in one, nor does it have an OS on here. Now it is a VA panel, but it is also 120 Hz, which is pretty good. 15.6 inch screen, but you can't get a 15.6 inch laptop bag because of this bezel at the back. It makes it not fit. The I/O of this laptop is also pretty good. On this side, we've got a headphone jack and an Ethernet port. On the other side, we've got 2 USB-A's. And then on the back, we've got a USB-C, which does have DisplayPort, a super speed USB-A, a HDMI, and of course the charger. Talking about the battery for a second, that's one benefit that this laptop will actually have over more expensive laptops. Because it's not so powerful, the battery will tend to last longer. And while some more expensive laptops do have it, because it's mostly running on integrated graphics when you're not gaming, and that takes far less power, you will save some battery life there, and just overall, this laptop will last longer battery-wise, generally, than a more expensive one will. That's not a set rule, that's just generally. So I did some testing on 3D Mark, in which I will have the results up on screen now. I did a plethora of many different tests, anything from DirectX 12 to ray tracing to mobile ray tracing, just to make sure to hit all my bases. I also ran 4 games of different severity on how it runs, with the first one being ridiculously easy, being the original Doom on Steam, which ran at 250 FPS, which I think was only stopped by the engine. And then I ran Portal 2, which again ran at about 250 FPS with 0 issues. And then I ran Assassin's Creed Unity, which was a bit different. It ran at an average of about 50. Sometimes it would jump up to like 60 to 70, other times it would drop all the way down to 40 to 30. And last of all, I ran a game that was only revived recently, being Titanfall 2, the campaign, and it ran at about 150 FPS with 0 issues. And so while I didn't run anything massively AAA like Cyberpunk, for example, for the simple reason of I don't own it, and I don't make money from the channel yet to buy it, it's a mobile 3050. If it's not going to run Assassin's Creed Unity well, while you probably could run things like Cyberpunk, you probably can't run them well. Now, admittedly, this thing is practically about the same price as an ROG Ally. Should you get this or an ROG Ally? That one more so comes down to your preference. Something like this, the benefit of it being you're not just getting gaming out of it. ROG Ally is pretty much going to be just gaming. Because while it does run Windows 11, you're not going to be able to get a whole lot more out of it. This you can do pretty much any desktop application on. So that one does come down to preference. But overall, for whatever reason, so after looking at all the details of this laptop, can I recommend budget gaming laptops as a good option? Yes, if you consider a few things. If you're going to be using it vast majority from home, and you're not really going to game on the go, I'd recommend getting a desktop and a cheap laptop for the go, not a gaming one. If you're going to be gaming a lot on the go, you will get more value out of a more expensive one. If you double your budget, you'll probably get more than double the performance. But if you know that you want a cheap laptop that you can game on the go, but you also want to be able to do other things, so you don't want something like an ROG Ally, anything like that, then yes, I would recommend a cheap gaming laptop. They can still game pretty well, there's still good value. If you're wanting to run the most AAA games on it, probably not going to be able to do that, but it'll run the vast majority of games. Not even just this Dell one. There's a lot of very similar ones from HP, Acer, a lot of options. Budget gaming laptops are a good idea. The build quality is very solid, the performance is solid, the price is solid, and I can recommend. And with that, I hope you enjoyed the video. Comment down below what device you use for portable gaming. I'm curious. I apologize that I've sounded a little bit off, had a bit of a cold. I kept waiting for it to go, but it just kind of didn't. And so I decided to I wasn't too bad today. I'll film it all for you guys. Hopefully I don't sound too bad. I don't think I do. But if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. I'm a small content creator. Help out a ton. I'm going to a computer convention in about 2 weeks. My goal is to be at 1K before then, so please subscribe. Helps out a ton. I hope to see you in the next one, and bye-bye.